Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode, I'm going to be recapping the 2021 and 2022 releases from the War Doctor Begins range, which I will explain what that is in a second. But before I do that, I'm recording this episode on the 16th of February 2026. So, the War Doctor Begins range is a range that came about following the unfortunate passing of Sir John Hurt, who played the War Doctor in the War Doctor's only TV appearance in the 50th anniversary special of Doctor Who, The Day of the Doctor. They reprised his role for Big Finish. Because of how long ago it was, I kind of thought it didn't make sense to cover those. So, and as it's unfortunately not a continuing range, I kind of thought, let's move on to the War Doctor Begins, because even though, spoiler alert, the War Doctor Begins range has finished, the War Doctor Rises range continues, so it kind of links together. It's the same actor, so it made sense. So the first release in the War Doctor Begins range is Forged in Fire, which was released all the way back in June 2021, and does has the synopsis, which is as follows. The Doctor is no more. In his place, a warrior, finally joining the Time War between the Daleks and the Time Lords. But how far will he go to end this conflict? What lines will he cross? How much of himself will he sacrifice? The War Doctor is only just beginning to find out who he is. We start off with Light the Flame, written by Matt Fitton, with the following synopsis. The Sisterhood of Khan have a guest. Recovering from his traumatic regeneration to do what is asked of him, the Doctor has rejected his name and his code. The Time Lords have plans for him and for Khan. Is he ready to light the flame of war? We then have Lionhearts, written by Lou Morgan, with the following synopsis. Seeking out Gallifrey's new warrior, Commodore Tamsin finds that the War Doctor has invited himself on a secret mission. The time-sensitive Thurls are in danger, and an old friend of the Doctor is trapped. But Byrock knows better than to trust either side in this war. We then have The Shadow Squad, written by Andrew Smith, with the following synopsis. Tamsin is unconvinced of the War Doctor's loyalties, though when their paths collide, both agree that the destruction of the Dalek time strategist could be the best route to victory. But on Altheria, the Daleks may have found a way to annihilate all plans to defeat them before they are even begun. This set was recorded between the 30th and 2nd of October 2020. It does star Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor, as well as Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks. John Dorney appears as Byrock in this set as well, who obviously is a Big Finish writer, and Helen Goldwyn, who is a director, normally voices Commander Sunmer. But yeah, before I talk about my thoughts of the War Doctor Begins Forged in Fire, here's the trailer.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The War Doctor Begins, Volume 1.
I assumed you were here to help. That you were on our side.
Oh, sides. It always has to be about sides, doesn't it?
Doctor of War, make your choice.
We're too close to falter now. Prepare explosives!
You try my patience.
You try mine!
What are they going to do?
What you have forced them to.
What are they going to do?
You may think you're being very clever. But what you're doing risks tearing apart the fabric of space and time. There are more things in heaven and earth, Rasmus. Or should I say Khan and Gallifrey? I can't see how one Time Lord makes a difference.
You will find a way. The renegade, the warrior.
Open the time chamber. You want to know what is behind the wall. You will have your answer.
It doesn't look very hospitable.
Enter.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the trailer for The War Doctor Begins Forged in Fire. And as I've spoken about in previous episodes, that kind of Jonathan Carley is now the War Doctor. There is no kind of him finding his feet in the role or anything. Again, as I've spoken about with some of the other Big Finish recasts, that for various different reasons. Mostly because an actor's no longer with us usually, or because an actor's too busy to do Big Finish in some of the new series Doctors cases. Jonathan Carley, again, if you would think he's John Hurt's War Doctor, if the name wasn't on the cover, you didn't know he was no longer here on Earth anymore. You would just think that it was John Hurt, but obviously it isn't. But yeah, kind of because of how long ago again it was, I can't remember much from this, but I did kind of I think I must have watched The Day of the Doctor before I listened to this story, so I didn't have an idea of who the War Doctor was, and probably listened to the original War Doctor audios with John Hurt as well, so I did kind of have an idea. But this is kind of the story of, because there's a huge gap to fill, because we don't know much about the War Doctor. We know that Paul McGann regenerates into him, and we know that John Hurt regenerates into Christopher Eccleston at the end of The Day of the Doctor, but all that time in between we have no idea, which is where all these Doctor Who Big Finish audios featuring the War Doctor are set. But yeah, now on to the next release, which I think was also in 2021, and that is with where is it? That's 654. This is that one. The War Doctor Begins Warbringer, which was released in December 2021 and has the following synopsis. The Doctor is no more. In his place, a warrior finally joining the Time War between the Daleks and Gallifrey. But how far will he go to end the conflict? What lines will he cross? How much of himself will he sacrifice? The War Doctor is beginning to find out who he is. We start off with Consequences, written by Timothy X. Attack, with the following synopsis. The War Doctor and Veclin crash on a ravaged planet on the fringes of the Time War. This world has its own battles raging elsewhere. A survivor works out how she came to be here, but these newcomers are harbingers of something terrible following in their wake. We then have Destroyer, written by Andrew Smith, with the following synopsis. Trapped on a world that worships war, the War Doctor finds himself fulfilling an ancient prophecy. Could he be the Warbringer of Legend, obviously the title of the set. His new ally Case is testing her abilities too, and both will be called on to fight when the Daleks come. We then have Survivor. No, we don't. We have Saviour, written by Jonathan Morris, with the following synopsis. The truth of how events on Tharius were set in motion is revealed. On a mission to destroy a Dalek harvester vessel, the War Doctor discovers a new breed of Dalek. Whatever action he takes next, we have seen the consequences, and they are devastating for everyone. This set was recorded between the 18th and 20th of November 2020, and of course stars Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor, Aegis Adward as Case, Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks, and Beth Chalmers as Veclin. So before I let you know my thoughts, here's the trailer for The War Doctor Begins Warbringer.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The War Doctor Begins, Volume 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
Obliterate.
The universe is at war. The Time Lords against the Daleks. In the face of tyranny, one can either fight, flee, or surrender.
You have another purpose, another destiny, as do all of your people.
Slaves to the Daleks? No. Never.
I can help you fight.
No, you said you'd come to save me.
Yes, now sleep.
You lied to me.
No. I just didn't tell you the whole truth.
It's a work of art. Glorious. A work of art.
Fellows, don't you see? Don't any of you see? It's the end of the world.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the trailer for The War Doctor Begins Warbringer, and seems to introduce Case, which is the closest thing the War Doctor has as a companion, as I mentioned when I was talking about Forged in Fire, that kind of there were so big gaps in the War Doctor story, and the War Doctor being an incarnation of the Doctor, completely different to all of the past and future incarnations from his point of view, and all the incarnations that we've seen across TV and Big Finish, that yeah, that kind of this is the closest thing to a companion he has, and it kind of, spoiler alert, does end not very well at the end of The War Doctor Begins, and we'll get to that. But yeah, that's it for The War Doctor Begins. Warbringer kind of still having the Daleks as that presence, and the Time Lords. It's a very unique series. You're not going to get it in any of the other Doctor ranges. So now let's move on to the first War Doctor Begins release of 2022, and that is Battlegrounds, which here is the synopsis for the set. The Doctor is no more. Oh no, it's the same. I'm going to read it anyway. The Doctor is no more in his place, a warrior, finally joining the time war between the Daleks and Gallifrey, but how far will he go to end the conflict? How much of himself will he sacrifice? The War Doctor is beginning to find out who he is. We start off with The Keeper of Light, written by Fulman Ryan, with the following synopsis. The Doctor and his faithful companion are on the trail of strange psionic signals. At a remote coastal cottage, holidaymakers David and Dorothy think there's something strange about the lighthouse, but the Doctor can't shake the sense of an even bigger mystery to solve. We then have Tempestuous, written by Rosalind McPhillips, with the following synopsis. Fighting alongside the Time Lords against their common enemy, some thousands have realised that this collaboration is not between equals. When his new battleship is stolen, the War Doctor must convince his old allies that they are on the same side. We then have Rewind, written by Timothy X. Attack, with the following synopsis. Lacuna is on the brink of destruction, attacked by a new breed of Dalek, but every day it is pulled back from that brink, and everyone prepares to live through the end of their world once again. One strange man alone in his castle holds the key to Lacuna's ultimate salvation, or is it annihilation? This set was recorded between the 21st and 23rd of September 2021 and stars Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor, Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks. That's it. Before I let you know my thoughts, here's the trailer for The War Doctor Begins, Battlegrounds.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The War Doctor Begins, Battlegrounds.
What was your name again?
I'm the Doctor, and don't worry. Sooner we sort this out, sooner the planet's safe.
What? Did he say the planet?
It's happening when the beam shines on me.
Snow this side too.
Back! Get back!
They're growing.
Surrounding the cottage.
What's happening out there?
Doctor! It's the rocks!
Mental energy physically affecting solid matter. Even if that worked on water, reshaping rocks so easily is power it must have access to.
What's she going on about?
No idea. Come on, run! Run! You never run up a down escalator?
No!
First time for everything, move!
You believe a Time Lord, who just tried to kill us, by the way, over me?
But where are we going? Where?
Scarborough.
We've been fighting this war since we were slime on Scarborough.
The Nemesis is a game changer. It could win this war. And we've given it to you, Commander.
A bribe. That's what this great big hulk is.
I'm a pal, not a Time Lord. We still have honor. Who was that?
That was your captain, agreeing to give this ship to the Daleks.
Berserker army is currently engaged in a pincer movement around Sendelwyn and Herrick. Estimated complete loss of all lives in the city by 0630 hours.
You in the cloister, with the big sword. I said you won't want to be standing there.
Me? Me in the cloister? Right you are. Why not?
Well, because the Berserker Dalek advance party has been sent to kill me.
So we run now, right? We run in the direction of the knot explosion.
I just have to unplug all this from the TARDIS. One moment, please. I'll do it as fast as I can.
Need a hand?
I believe it's a one-man job.
I've heard that before.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the trailer for The War Doctor Begins, Battlegrounds, and in that trailer there you just heard the difference between the War Doctor and the other incarnations of Doctor, with the more aggressive nature that he has and kind of not worrying about the consequences, really, which you could say all the Doctors share. but like the bigger consequences of this, of worlds being destroyed, whereas in the normal Doctor Who or the audios featuring other Doctors, it's kind of something that isn't as high stakes as that, and if it is, kind of he or she or they make sure that as many people as they can they save, whereas the War Doctor is just caring about ending the war at whatever cost. So it's quite different. Now it's time for the final release that I'll be talking about in this episode. Obviously not the final release of The War Doctor Begins or Jonathan Carley's War Doctor. I'll get onto that in the next episode. But we do finish with the second and final War Doctor Begins release of 2022, that being The War Doctor Begins, He Who Fights with Monsters, with the following synopsis. The Doctor is no more. A warrior has joined the time war between the Daleks and Gallifrey, but how far will he go? What lines will he cross? How much of himself will he sacrifice? The War Doctor has begun to find out who he is and the consequence of fighting with monsters. We start off with the mission with the following synopsis. As the Time War takes a dark new turn, the War Doctor is tasked by the Time War Council with locating and assassinating a Gallifreyan renegade, waging their own private campaign against both the Daleks and the Time Lords. Who is the mysterious barber surgeon, and can the Doctor complete his mission without becoming all that he abhors? We then have the Abyss with the following synopsis. The Doctor journeys to his target through the ravages of the Time War. The trail leading him back into his own personal history, with the Daleks close behind, and the mysterious barber surgeon anticipating his every move. He comes to suspect that this is one mission he won't be coming back from. We then have the horror with the following synopsis. The Doctor is missing in action as Gallifrey and Skaro face total destruction. Time Lord and Dalek forces converge on the realm of the barber surgeon. From his junkyard fortress in the lost dimension, the renegade warmonger is about to create his ultimate weapon. Who or what can possibly stop him? This set was recorded on the 23rd, 26th and 27th of May 2022 and stars Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor, Ken Bones as the General, Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks, Louise Jameson as Leela, and that's it. But yeah, before I tell you my thoughts, here is the trailer for The War Doctor Begins, He Who Fights with Monsters.
The truth is that this war, this last great time war of ours, is reaching its final end.
The time lock around Gallifrey is breaking. Soon it will shatter, and then we will fall.
It shouldn't have ended like this.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The War Doctor Begins, He Who Fights with Monsters. We have a mission for you.
There's something worse than Daleks on the way.
And what if your target was another Time Lord?
We foresee a time when the barber surgeon will end this war by destroying both the Daleks and the Time Lords.
Yes. I'll do it. He has to be destroyed. By fair means or foul.
Shake, locate, destroy! We'll be attempting to leave Gallifrey in secret. That is how we will find him.
We all have our orders, Captain. All I can tell you is that I'm on a mission.
To where?
To the unknown.
Exterminate! Exterminate! I have seen beyond the storm. I have seen him. I have seen death.
This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, with a whimper.
That was cool.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
A bit premature there. That was the trailer for The War Doctor Begins, He Who Fights with Monsters, and again a very Dalek heavy box set, this one, and kind of more of the War Doctor kind of being forced to do things that he normally wouldn't do as any other incarnation. He kind of is in this war like survival mode, really. Yeah, but that's kind of it, really. Kind of, it's been a while since I've listened to these stories, so sorry that I couldn't go more in depth, but obviously that's not the end of Jonathan Carley's War Doctor, which I will get into in the next episode that I am recording. But without further ado, let me know what you thought about all the releases I talked about in this episode, as well with anything else you want to cover the channel, such as any previews or recaps. You can put all of those in the comments below. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.